Arsenal women have found out their opponents for the fourth round of the Adobe Women's FA Cup. The Gunners will play Watford at Meadow Park on Sunday, the 14th of January. It's two clubs with a very close relationship to each other. The training grounds at London Colney practically back onto each other. A number of young players have gone on dual registration, gone on loan at Watford, no more so than this season. The last couple of seasons, Michelle Aguiman and Layla Harbour, two very promising youngsters, both were involved in Watford's third round game, a 6-1 win, very impressive win over Southampton, who of course were only narrowly beaten by Arsenal in the Conti Cup. Harbour was named player of the round, scored a hat-trick. Michelle Aguiman also on the score sheet, very talented young player, both of whom have actually been capped for England at youth level and really making their mark. However, it is a Watford side who sit bottom of the Women's Championship. They were promoted back up to the second tier by way of a playoff final victory over Nottingham Forest last season. They've won just once in the Championship this season, one of the only part-time sides in what is a very, very competitive second tier of women's football in England. So struggling this season, they'll see this as a real free hit. Arsenal, of course, will know Watford well. As I say, it's a chance for them to get their FA Cup run underway. They beat fourth tier Leeds at this stage of the competition. I think it was 9 or 10-0 off the top of my head last season. So Arsenal looking to go far in the competition. They were almost unlucky last season, drawn against Chelsea in the fifth round. Of course, lost to Chelsea in the final the previous year. It's a competition they have, of course, won many, many times. Arsenal, 14-time Women's FA Cup winners taking on Women's Championship Watford. So it's a bit of a David and Goliath story. As I say, it could be fourth-tier Leeds last season. That really was the ultimate David versus Goliath, and Arsenal are able to try out some young players. In fact, Aguiman, I talk about on loan at Watford, actually scored her first goal for the Gunners in that game, coming off the bench, which was a really nice moment. So Arsenal FA Cup in January, as I say, will be played at Meadow Park on Sunday the 14th. I'm actually covering Watford's men's team against Chesterfield the previous week, so very much an FA Cup time of year. Third round of the men's competition, fourth round of the women's. Tomorrow night, Wednesday, of course, Arsenal will take on Tottenham for the first time of two meetings this week, with Arsenal playing Tottenham tomorrow night on the Conti Cup group stage. The Gunners beating Bristol City and Southampton so far this season in the League Cup. They'll then travel to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Saturday lunchtime for the WSL. So it's something of a dress rehearsal, I guess, tomorrow night. Very much not the main attraction of the week. And what a week it's been so far for Arsenal, beating Chelsea 4-1 in the WSL on Sunday. So it really is a London derby, a rivalry kind of week for Jonas Eidevall's side. But expect a good few number of changes tomorrow night. I'm sure there'll be a warm reception at Meadow Park for those almost returning heroes for Arsenal after the day they had on Sunday. So busy times at the moment, last few fixtures before the winter break, a much needed winter break for these players. And as I say, they'll be taking on Watford in the FA Cup fourth round in January. Mark that date in your diary, always a good occasion, the FA Cup.